And gentlemen, we are live for Sabres Kings. Big time game for the Sabres team. They need some points. Got to keep ahead of the playoff push. Of course, it's going to be a very, very long end to the season with the All-Star Olympic break this year. It's gonna be something that we're gonna have to monitor. We're gonna have to keep checking every single day on scores around the league, and it is for the first time in 14 years to be a Sabres fan. Now, the main issue with this year is sustainability. Can this current group of players keep this up? That I still cannot trust. Of course, we've seen the Sabres break our hearts year in, year out. So absolutely going to have to make some moves at the deadline or before to ensure this team can make the playoffs because they are too close to give up. They are too close to bet on our guys. As good as this team has been, you got to do everything in your power if you are Jarmo Kekalainen to make sure this team makes the playoffs. What's going on, Sawyer? Chrissy, how's it going? Prime, how's it going? Let me know how the audio is. I'll adjust it as we go. It's been a while, of course, since I've streamed a Sabres game. Got busy. School, of course. We have the Bills, which I don't really want to discuss today. But the Sabres have been one of the few bright spots in Buffalo fans' minds and lives in the last couple months. So the roles have reversed, and I think the Sabres finally have the team to do it now. The question is, can they continue to win games they should win? Tonight's one of those games against the Los Angeles Kings, a team that absolutely relies on overtime points. They have 13 overtime losses this season. That is just incredible. That's the only reason they're staying afloat in the Western Conference. This is a slower team. This is a team that likes to play down low in the corners, a team that likes to get the gritty goals. They're not going to really score on the rush. They're not going to make too many chances on the rush. That being said, the Sabres have kind of transitioned into a team that can do both, right? They have that Lindy Ruff style of hockey where they play in the corners and they Beck Malenstein crush people into the boards. They also still have the star caliber players that are able to, when they need to, go on those rushes and, create odd man rushes, shoot from the slot, the Jack Quinns of the world that are kind of one-way players in that sense of the imagination. So this team kind of has it all, and they're meshing really well right now. Injury is still a major problem. Yuri Kulik still out. Josh Norris still out. Ukko Pekka out at least a week. That moves Alex Lyon back to the starter position. Personally, I'd say he never really lost that role, but more importantly, that moves Colton Ellis to the backup role. Audio is good. Video is laggy. Gotcha. Yeah, we're working on a Discord call, trying that out. I don't know how well it's going to work. I know we tried it for a couple of videos, and it worked on Jaden's end, but on my end, I know my audio lagged behind for like the whole video. But we'll see. Hopefully it works out. Yeah, Victor, how's it going? Yeah, back-to-back games. I'm back. We'll be doing Saturday as well. Right after the Royal Rumble, I know we'll have some people over. We might have some of them on stream as well. So some surprises coming in for you guys. What's going on, Jason? What's going on, Ranger? Big time game tonight. I mean, home game. This crowd's gonna be bumping. Um, is it a sellout? They didn't announce a sellout yet, but you got to assume it's pretty close. Tickets were on the resale like $35, which isn't bad for a Thursday night, considering that they're usually, I don't know, maybe $18, $19 for a weeknight game. So this is good to see. You got to assume Saturday against Montreal is going to be a sellout, absolutely 100%. So the building should be rocking on Saturday. As far as today goes, it's going to be very close. Maybe not officially a sellout, but I think you'll get some hardcore fans at this game to make the building loud. What do I think of the press conference today? Well, before the Sabres game starts, I guess we'll talk about the Bills. I thought Joe Brady crushed his interview. I thought he did a very great job. I thought he was professional, unlike the other two buffoons that we saw a week prior. I thought, he paid respect to Sean McDermott and all he did for Joe Brady throughout his career. I thought he did a good job in doing that, but he also did a good job in getting me excited for the future, something I wasn't really too excited for when they announced Joe Brady as the new head coach. Don't get me wrong. I think Joe Brady is still a very, very smart man, still a guy who can be the next Sean McVay, still a young guy who, has the chance to go on and win multiple Super Bowls with the Bills. I'll believe it when I see it because from what we saw from Joe Brady in the last couple of years, he has just regressed significantly and mainly because of McDermott's control over the offense. I think we all know that. But we're starting the national anthems right now at the game. Doug Allen, my favorite, doing the anthems, of course. The Goat Head night, so I got the Goat Head jersey on. Doug Allen, somebody I think they should bring it back in full. Just an iconic voice for the Sabres. I know a lot of people agree with that. A lot of people like Cammy too, and I think Cammy Clooney does a good job with the anthem. But I'd like to see a little more Doug Allen, maybe a 50-50 split going into next year. Not that it really matters, but somebody who was on my TV screen a whole lot growing up with the drought era Sabres, which they're still in, I guess. Yeah, playoff beard coming in. Gotta work with it a little bit. I figured, Bills off season, I'd be us on camera for school and on here and all that sort of stuff and anything like that. So I could experiment a little bit and yeah, we'll see. Maybe playoff beard. Maybe we'll keep it until the Sabres get eliminated. See how that goes. It's like a Cammy Clooney. I mean, we could all use a little more Doug Allen, but yeah, Cammy's good too at the anthem. Yeah, Joe Brady. I think he's growing on a lot of Bills fans. We got to give him a chance, right? We got to give him a chance. And if Josh Allen signed off on this, I guess we're all kind of sheep to him, right? We kind of got to just follow his lead. And if he believes in him, I guess we do as well. And we'll see what happens. Keeping an open mind, hoping you're proven wrong. I'm under the same exact mindset, and I think Joe Brady can be that guy, right? He has the potential to be that guy. Do I think he was the number one option? No, but when the Seahawks won and it seemed kind of like Kubiak was 2 weeks out, I think the Bills decided just, you know what, we're going to take our guy, we're going to make things simple, and we see the vision that he has kind of, and I guess he kind of added to the fact that McDermott held this team back and that the offense really was built for McDermott and not a Joe Brady offense. So we'll see what they do in the offseason, right? I mean, if you're, we'll be right back with the video, but trying to fix the lag, I think. But I got Lindy off talking right now. We're about to drop the puck, and this is a game where, again, against a Western Conference team, the goal is to at least get the game into overtime, get the point, because the Kings getting a point doesn't affect us one bit. And, of course, try to get 2 points. And this is a team the Sabres should absolutely get 2 points on, especially with a tough game against Montreal this weekend. They're showing Colton Ellis on the bench. Of course, he'll be the backup. 14 people in here. Thank you. If you guys are new here, be sure to subscribe and leave a like. Puck has dropped. Samuelson turns it over immediately, and the Kings are going to have a little bit of a chance here. Slide one in on Lyon. Oh, it's loose in front, and he makes the save. We are back now. Might be a little lag again. We're just back to this now after a little bit of a hiatus. So if it's laggy, bear with us. We'll figure it out for next stream. Yeah, maybe there's a way I can just do it off mine. To at least do the video, but we'll figure that out. Sabres win the defensive zone draw. Zucker, McLeod, and Quinn line out there with Dahlin and Samuelson backing them up. Puck all the way back into the Sabres end. Rasmus Dahlin will swing it around the boards, and the Sabres carry it to center ice. Quinn coming in. Oh, he's got an open lane. He's trying to wrap around, throws it to the middle of the ice, but there's no one there. Power off the bench keeps it in. Up top to Byram. Byram chucks one in, trying to get a deflection. He didn't get one, and the Kings are going to be able to clear it, but only as far as center ice, where it's stolen by McLeod, dumped the rest of the way, and the Sabres will head off for a change. Kings will work it down into the corner. No Kopitar tonight, so no farewell tour in Buffalo for him. Kempe is going to be the main guy for the Kings that we got to watch out for as far as offensive ability goes. Sabres first line out there, Tage Thompson across center. He'll scoot it into the corner for Zach Benson. Benson and Tuck pin it against the wall. Byram steps into the play. Bowen Byram has been very good this season. Potential 2-on-1 back the other way for the Kings, but a nice defensive play by Owen Power to break that one up. And now Tage will carry the puck to the blue line. His team changes, so he'll scoot it back to Michael Kesselring, the injury-riddled, newly acquired defenseman. Kesselring now into the corner. Sawyer's way behind. That's better than being ahead, though. You could always just pause the stream for a little bit and try to sync it up. Oh, Kings, nice opportunity in front of the net, but that one just deflected wide. Now Dahlin back on the ice. He'll chip one to the blue line and out. And here comes Kesselring to center. They'll dump it the rest of the way, and the Sabres finish their defensive change. The kid line out there now for the Sabres. Osland, Hellenis, and now Krebs is out there, so fourth line will get things going here. Prime, how's it going? Dump down. Tyson Kozak, good hit in the corner. And this is what that fourth line does, right? They grind it along the sides of the boards, and then they kind of wait to get possession, hope somebody's in that bumper slot. They do it over and over and over again. Once in a while, it'll work. Sabres got it behind the net. Now Malenstein had Kozak in front of the net for a second. Now he leaves it for him behind the net, and Kozak will elect to play it back to the point. Zach Metza to the net, but that one deflected wide, and the Kings will have an open lane to clear it, and that they will. Now the Kings around center ice, they're just going to play it back. Both teams making wholesale changes, so they'll dump it the rest of the way. Zach Metza left to deal with that one in the corner. He'll swing it around to Samuelson. Samuelson's outlet pass to Zucker. And Quinn will take it the rest of the way. Chops it into the corner. A good keep in by Byram into the middle of the ice. There's a shot by Quinn. Batted down. McLeod back to the point. Sabres rotating a little bit. Power open lane. Takes a shot. That one hit the bar. Owen Power comes close. Stills the puck in the corner. Working it. Back to the blue line, and they're going to say offsides just by an inch. Byram couldn't keep it in, so that'll end that chance for the Sabres. But a couple good looks on that shift for the Sabres. Darce Kempois, one of the solid, reliable goalies in the league, right? He's not gonna leave the net open in any open look. So you're gonna have to beat him. You're gonna have to start doing some cross creasers, but early in the game, got to get some shots on net, so you can't blame them there, especially with the shooting percentage that the Sabres have had, right? The Sabres, multiple games in a row now, have had, low numbered shots, and they've still been able to put up 4, 5, 6 goals. Dahlin, in his own end, turns that one over into the corner. Not a good outlet pass for Dahlin. Thompson finishes a check in the corner. It looked like a cross check, but I don't think an arm went up. Kings still possession. Now Tuck will take it back. Chips it to center ice, but that's as far as that one will go. Now Benson takes it across the blue line. Nice pass to Tage, across to Tuck. Oh, and he whiffed on it. Would have had a decent shot on the one-timer. That's the second game in a row Tuck's whiffed on one of those. The last time he did, he was able to get the puck back and score. That time, not so much. Alex Tuck is somebody that us Sabres fans are going to have to keep an eye on for the next couple weeks, because the trade deadline's coming up, and he's a name that's getting brought up quite a bit, the pending free agent. Kid line out there for the Sabres. Getting pesky in the offensive zone, but now it gets dumped the rest of the way down the ice. And Doan now to Hellenis, Osland, down low, Byram, good step up top to Doan, looks for a shooting lane, and that one wide. Hellenis Back to Osland in the corner. He's bringing it out to the point. Osland, good drop down to Byram. Byram runs out of room in the corner. Push this the middle. And the Kings able to clear the zone. So again, good pressure from the Sabres, creating some turnovers, creating some good zone time. And here we go again. Kesselring into the play. Nice pass in the middle, and Krebs shot deflected up and out of play. And oh boy, Kesselring in front of the net, shoving with Darcy Compois. And the whole Kings roster getting in on it here. Edmondson, Malotson on it as well with Krebs. See if any penalties come out of this, but obviously did not like Kesselring going after their goaltender there. And Kesselring, I think, has scored into the box. We might get 2-2. Let's see. Yeah, Kesselring just came flying across the crease and got a piece of Kemper after that play went out, or after that puck went out of play. Clark took exception to it. You got to assume these are offsetting 2-minute penalties. Yeah, 3 goalie rotation, as much as we've hated on it, myself included, it's worked out this year with all the goaltender injuries we've had, right? But I think both teams getting a 2-minute roughing call here. And there might be an added penalty to the Kings, might be on Kemper for roughing. So we might have a 4-on-3 power play for the Sabres. That would be something you don't see every day. So we come back to stream here, my first game in a couple months. And in a 4-on-3 power play, I believe. Jim Hiller, the Kings head coach, still arguing with the linesman. Yeah, Alex Lyon has been a savior this year. Definitely the most reliable goalie they have right now. I saw a poll the other day. It was, what goalie would you have in a game one hypothetical playoff game? And it seemed 90% of people picked Lions. So that is very telling of what the fan base thinks. And UPL, obviously the fan favorite, just because he's been here a while and he's got the little chant after he saves the puck. But seems a majority of fans trust Lyon a little bit more. How could you not after how this season's played out and now UPL banged up again? Yeah, Sawyer, we tried. The viewership wasn't there. It didn't make sense to really do it. Bills and all the shorts and all that sort of stuff were the play on YouTube. Unfortunately, that's the way YouTube's gone. I'm going to try to stream again, and hopefully it works out for us. But the current algorithm with YouTube is really dependent on short form content. So if I only have, an hour a day to work on this channel or something with school going on, and that time allotted for the streams just, wasn't going to be able to keep us afloat, going to have to push those to the shorts. But now that the Bill season is over, I'm going to push a little bit of my schedule back to be able to stream for you guys, because I know a lot of you guys have been waiting on these. And it is fun to do for sure. Sabres power play struggling immensely to start. Already a minute 15 left in it. Thompson brings it over center, and they finally get it set up. It's going to be a 5-on-4, so it's not 4-on-3. Again, NHL rules are kind of, pick and choose sometimes. And if you want to make it 4-on-4 and then give an extra penalty, or if you just want to offset them and not have the 4-on-4. So apparently it's just a regular power play. Dahlin batted down with a high stick, and he slaps the puck into the wall, frustrated. After that play, 46 seconds to go on the power play. They'll drop the puck in the Sabres' end. Oh, sorry, I know. Yeah, I'm going to try to do the rest of the season, though. We're doing Saturday. We're going to keep going. If I'm not, I'm not at work or doing something, I'll be streaming for sure. Yeah, I mean, Evan Adams has to be a little bit jealous, but also a little bit excited, right? This is the team he built, and if he wants to sniff an NHL job again, this team needs to go far in the playoffs. So his only hope to get another NHL job. Sabres just keep it in the zone, and now they'll get it set up. 27 seconds to go on the power play. Byram down to McLeod. This power play has been atrocious. Hopefully they can make me eat my words with a goal. Back to the point. Quinn with a shot. That one wide. McLeod keeps it in to Tuck. Tuck. Oh, they score! Another funky power play bounce. The power play, every single goal, it seems the last couple of weeks has been a crazy bounce. This one, Alex Tuck, a $50 million man, just chucks it towards the net. I think it went off a defenseman and right through Kemper's legs. 5-hole goal. The Sabres take a 1-0 lead. We're taking another look at the replay here again. Good job by McLeod to keep it in the zone, and Tuck just fired it in, right off the defenseman's skate and through Kemper's legs. What a funky goal that was. We're on the board. How's it going, Osiris? Thank you, Jason. That helps out a bunch. Appreciate it. And if you guys are new here, like, subscribe. Be sure to join the chat. We got a lot of people who are in here regularly as well, so join the chat with them. Appreciated. Sabres up 1-0 off an Alex Tuck goal. Fourth line out there now, as Lindy Ruff loves to do after any form of goal, either goal for or goal against. That fourth line's most likely going to be out there the very next shift to kind of tread water, keep the game going. The Sabres have been so porous after scoring goals in the last couple of years, right? They'd score a goal and immediately give one up. Big block shot by Tyson Kozak. He heads right to the bench. I don't think he's going to be too injured, but that one definitely stung. So now the Kings are going to be able to get it set off of that. Melenius off the bench with Doan. Krebs still out there, so he'll be a little bit tired on this shift. Glove save, Alex Lyon. We're going to head to our first commercial break of the game. Sabres 1-0 after an Alex Tuck deflection goal. That's a perfect way to start for this team, a team that so desperately needs to stay above the cut line. And, man, if they could stay in the top 3 in the Atlantic, that would be a dream come true, right? You could get home ice in the playoffs. I mean, that would be absolutely insane. So we'll see what happens with the Sabres, right? I'm lowering my expectations to the very floor because, again, this is the team that continues to just keep hyping us up, and they drag us down every single year. So I refuse to believe this is the year until it actually is, until we see the playoff logo on the ice, whether that's digitally or actually on the ice. I don't know what they're going to do this year, but until that happens, it's hard to really fathom what's going on. Sawyer's got 3 monitors going. Sounds like me every night. Yep, got all the sports on, everything going on. Victor says, question, if we win the Stanley Cup, I'm assuming the GM's name also is on the cup with the players. Wouldn't Adam's name go on it? I'm not quite sure about that. I know coaches obviously go on it. I'm not sure if the GM does or not. I would think so. If that's the case, I don't know. I think, if it's the GM, Yarmo's name would be on it. And I don't know if they put fired GMs or coaches on it. I don't know what they do nowadays. If they, I guess it would kind of be the same as, say, the Sabres trade Alex Tuck and they were to win the cup, which they're not going to, either one probably. Would Alex Tuck's name still be on the cup? I don't know what they do. I know in years prior they've done that, and then they haven't done that. So I don't know what the current regulation or rule is for that. I know in the NBA, if you play on a team even a minute in a game, or are even active on their roster, and they win the NBA Finals, you get a ring no matter what. So I'm assuming it's the same way in hockey, but I'm not sure about the whole Stanley Cup thing. Yeah, Lindy's definitely would be, as long as he's still the head coach. That's a serious conversation we were having a couple weeks ago. Will Lindy Ruff finish the year as head coach? It appears so. We had a Puck touched up by a high stick, so we're going to have a defensive zone faceoff for the Sabres. 11:32 to go in the first period. Shots 4 apiece, and here we go again, right? The Sabres, 4 shots, already a goal. They have made the most of their shots. Let me know in the chat right now, who do you guys got scoring the next goal? Which team, which player? Sabres win the draw, something they've probably been the weakest at this year, right? Faceoffs. It's been a problem the last 5-6 years. Wouldn't be surprised if Yarmo goes out and gets a guy that can win some faceoffs, maybe a faceoff specialist, even if he's not in the lineup every night. Somebody that, when you play a team that has an elite faceoff specialist, you could put him up against. Definitely an option. Turnover by the Kings. Zucker down low. Oh, what a move. And his pass towards the center deflected by Fiala. Now the Kings will bring it back the other way. Up top. Oh, Kings. Massive save by Alex Lyon. A one-on-one chance with them. Right by both defensemen there. A little bit of a weak spot for the Sabres right in front of the net. It's been their kryptonite this year, not covering guys in front of the net. Puck deflected into the zone. Tage on it first. Edmondson with him. Swings around to the point. Power down low to Kesselring. He shoots one off of Benson's stick and in front of the net, bouncing up into the corner. Puck is in Tuck's skates and now flips towards center ice. And the Kings will finish the clear there, but it's right back out and Tuck back the other way. 2-on-2 developing. Tuck, Benson towards the net. Tuck elects to go back to the point. Nifty move there. Oh, still in front of the net. Benson to the corner. That was Owen Power on a shot. Point blank opportunity there and just missed. Benson, still to Tage. That line's been out there a while, but they got offensive zone time, so they're going to have to stay. Tage loses the puck. Power steps in. Good job by Owen Power to keep it in. Now Kesselring misses it, but he keeps it in the zone along the near boards. That one gets all the way on net. Good save by Kemper, and it'll be cleared all the way down the ice. That'll be an icing. Sabres going to have a tired group of Kings players out there. Kesselring frustrated after the play. He knew he got a hold of that cleanly the first time, would have had a little bit better look. Got 21 people in here right now. Thank you guys for joining. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We'll be live Saturday for the next Sabres game as well, and hopefully every Sabres game to close out the year. Also, Olympics. There's a point shot deflected in front. Never got to Kemper. Headline out there for the Sabres, but the Kings are going to clear it all the way down. Unfortunately for the Sabres, it's on net, so it will not be an icing. Zach Metza plays the rebound. Late offsides, the Sabres touch up. Oh, they're going to say they did not touch up. So offsides, we'll go to commercial break here with 9:10 to go in the first. Sabres still up 1-0. Yeah, Jason Yarmo definitely he set the tone, right? He said everyone's expandable. Nobody's a sure thing on this roster, right? And I think they kind of needed that. But the opposite side to that is they also got a confidence boost. And again, people are right. Kevin Adams built this roster. Yarmo maybe had a say in some decisions, but he hasn't done anything massive. He hasn't done anything really effective yet. He signed Doan to a really, really good deal. I think that's going to pan out big time in the future. But yeah, I mean, people have the right to say it's Adams' team. I get it, but also this team knows that Yarmo, a guy who can make moves, a guy who will make moves at the deadline, a guy who will do anything possible to win, is at the helm. Whereas when they had Kevin Adams, a guy who wasn't respected in the league, they knew they were really kind of playing for nothing. They knew even if they were to make a playoff appearance, free agents still would not want to come here. Under Yarmo, that story changes, right? And this team has been the hottest team in hockey over the last month. They have gotten so many eyes and so many people that, I follow that I know personally, that I know have not watched the Sabres game in 3-4 years, are now posting about them consistently. They're excited. And that's the same thing with thousands of people across the area, right? This team has sucked every single fan back in it just for this little period. Now, is that going to stay consistent? I don't know. And that's something this team has to do, right? They're selling out the arena. They're getting, everyone back invested. If they can make a playoff appearance, if they could have success in the playoffs, this is a hockey town. And unfortunately, I'm too young to really be able to remember anything that has to do with the party in the plaza or, good playoff memories or, '06, '07. But if this franchise could get to a consistent level, a consistent '05, '06, '07, we are in for a lot of fun as Buffalo sports fans. And as disgusting as the Bills have been, keep in mind they've been a lot worse, and they still have Josh Allen. So we'll have a lot of fun with the Bills for years to come. Do not worry. We are back under play. Kings dump it down. Dahlin with the puck. He swings it around. Malenstein with some speed gets it up top. There's a shot. That one, Kozak, deflected off of Kemper, up and out of play. Everyone expandable. Bills are horrible. I mean, they're not horrible. They consistently make it to the final 8 or final 4, but hopefully the changes they made have or will pay dividends. But we'll see. Time will tell, and it starts the day after the Super Bowl, right? Samuelson shots right in front of the net. I don't know if that went off Zucker or not. An absolute moonshot from Samuelson from the point. And on the Sabres' 6th shot of the game, it's going to be Samuelson's goal. Nobody else is claiming it. Matthias Samuelsson having a career year puts the Sabres ahead 2-0. Yeah, I mean, shot went right off Kemper's glove and dribbled in the rest of the way. Zucker collided with Kemper a little bit after the puck hit his glove, but it didn't interfere with the goal at all. Kemper was outside of the crease. I don't think this one will get reviewed. I think it's going to stand. Matthias Samuelsson, his 9th goal of the season, puts the Sabres ahead 2-0, and we're already back under play. They're not even going to think about challenging it. So you put a Kings team that relies on low scoring and gritty goals in a very tricky position where they're going to have to start playing a little bit aggressive. They're going to have to start kind of, trying to have some success on the rush. And that's exactly what you needed to do if you're the Sabres. Give them a deficit. Kings bringing it now. A little bit of offensive possession, but a weak backhand right in the Lions' glove, and that's where that play will end. Pushing and shoving in front of the net, nothing to come of that. Most goals by defensemen. They putting up a graphic here. Sabres, 2nd in the league with 36. The only team ahead of them, the Columbus Blue Jackets, Yarmo's former team, at 39. So hard to be mad at anything in this game so far. Picked off and out 2-on-1 back the other way. Kesselring takes a shot right into the chest of Kemper, and he will hold on. Michael Kesselring still searching for his first goal as a Buffalo Sabre. Kind of a two-way defenseman, offensively talented, but also brought in here to be more of a defensive guy. He also missed a bunch of games with injury, so take that stat with a grain of salt, but still searching for his first goal. A nice opportunity there, but could not pick the corner. Sabres win the draw. Kesselring tries another shot, deflects into the corner. Tuck brings it to the point. Dahlin. There's a little space in the middle. They're going to let him go all the way down, and his shot, he ran into Alex Tuck, and the shot goes into the corner. So all the Kings players got out of his way, but Alex Tuck set a pick on Dahlin, and Dahlin a little bit frustrated about it. Now he's laughing it off on the bench, but a couple times this game so far, we've seen Dahlin little bit frustrated. How's it going, Don? Good luck earring. Oh yeah, you got to be a little superstitious. It's another reason there was a couple of games that I was gonna stream, but I knew I wouldn't be able to do the game after it or the game after that. And I didn't want to come off for a one off, and a little bit of superstition there too, right? I didn't want to be the reason why the Sabres started playing bad. So far, so good, but there's still plenty of time for me to curse this team. So hopefully not. I have the paper bag still in this room if need be, but that thing may be retired for the year. Kid line out there for the Sabres in the defensive end. Doan, the center, throws it all the way into the corner, and that one deflected, and the Kings will be able to clear it. Looked like it might have been offsides anyway, so if they got anything off that rush, it probably wouldn't have stood. Osland dropped to the point, but it's picked off, and the Kings back the other way. I think that's the in the middle, and it's deflected by Owen Power. Good job intercepting that pass, and the Sabres much needed clear. They get a wholesale change. Kings right back in the zone though. Krebs has it pinned along the near boards, along with a whole lot of action down there. Now back out to the point. Drew Doughty shot. That one deflected, and Owen Power again gloves it down, but this time he can't clear the zone. Kings will keep it into the corner. So the Kings, a little bit of their first momentum of the game, I'd say. Byram turns it over. That's a bad turnover. Shot right into the glove of Lyon, and oh boy, he gets pushed into the goalie. Lyon goes down. Krebs was the beneficiary there on the hit, and now there's a little bit of a brawl. Krebs still going at it. That was Moore and Krebs going at it. Byfield, I think, was the one pushed into him. And Krebs goes right to the penalty box. We'll see if he brought anyone with him or if it's just Krebs. No, it didn't really look like Krebs pushed him into line. It looks like Byfield kind of skated into him on a knee. So 2 minutes each, and the Sabres get an extra 2-minute penalty. So the opposite of the last roughing situation. So the Kings will head to the power play when we come back from commercial. 5:56 to go in the first. And yeah, Peyton Krebs still causing havoc. There's a time and a place, right? And that was the right time to do something. You got a player that skated into your goalie, didn't really try to get out of the way. That's the time to do it. We've seen Krebs in other games do the opposite, where he takes penalties in situations less than ideal. You're up by 2. You have one of the best penalty kills in the league. Show a little exception to that. Show that that's not acceptable anymore here in Buffalo, and that's something that we were kind of scared of, right? How many years did we go where we'd see a penalty like that, and we'd be like, no, don't do that, right? Like we can't afford a penalty here because we're already out of the game, and we'll definitely be out of it if they score. Now we're up a couple points in the playoffs. We're up 2 goals here. Let's start getting a little bit physical, right? And the more physical you get, the less teams are going to come after you. You're giving yourself more space for a later game situation. So right time, right place for Krebs, and hopefully the penalty kill can get it done like they've done multiple times before. A very good penalty kill unit that the Sabres have. We're going to have to hope that they can continue to stay healthy on that unit. Jordan Greenway, a player that is not playing tonight, but he skated this morning. Probably their only injury right now that's a regular on the penalty kill. And yes, they have announced the sellout. Officially a sellout. I don't know how legit that is, but Byfield in the box alongside Krebs, and Jack Quinn will be in the penalty box serving the extra 2 for Buffalo. Early zone clearance for the Sabres, so good start to this penalty kill. Sabres power or penalty kill ranked 5th in the league. Kings power play 30th. So a little bit of a mismatch here. Kings power play looks a little bit like the Sabres power play. And by that, I mean not good. Whiffing on the puck. Kings really struggling to get it in the zone. How they do. They've gotten it set up. Deflection, weird deflection. Good save by Alex Lyon. He pushes it off to the side, back to the point, but held in. McLeod unable to clear. There's another shot deflected. And Samuelson will try to clear that one, but he is unable to. Down to the corner. Kings doing a good job rotating around, getting some high danger looks on Alex Lyon, who hasn't let one in yet. Back to the point. Back up top, good rotation, and there's the giveaway. Sabres able to clear it all the way down to Kemper. And both teams are going to change with 40 seconds to go on the penalty kill. Drew Doughty out there for the Kings. He'll lead the rush. Does the typical Sabres drop pass. And Moore will bring it the rest of the way in. Moore down low with Byram. Giveaway in front of the net. Back to the point. 19 seconds to go in the penalty kill. Kings doing a lot of rotating, but not a lot of shots now. Kind of just playing keep away. Cross crease pass goes nowhere. Back to the point to Doughty. Doughty. Along the far boards. There's a shot deflected up and out of play just as the penalty expires. 3:52 to go, and the Sabres back to even strength. We'll have a defensive zone face-off. Yeah, Lamar Jackson, that would be a crazy trade. New leadership in Baltimore, right? New coaching, so maybe they decide to make that move. Showing Corey Perry on the bench for the Kings. That guy's career has been kind of nuts the last 5 or 6 years. Sabres win the draw. Samuelson back to Byram and Tage. Get back to Samuelson, and Ozak was out there to win the faceoff. He immediately skates to the bench. So little stuff like that, right? Where we see, the faceoff specialist or like a fourth liner going out there for a defensive zone draw. We're going to start seeing that even more in must-win games down the stretch. That's why I bring up the point. Maybe Yarmo looks to get a guy who is really good at faceoffs. And no, not Ryan O'Reilly. Byfield. He's got a little bit of space going around the edge. His shot deflected up and out of play. Good job by Kesselring. He gives Byfield a little shove after the play. Byfield runs away from it, but Merritt takes exception. And Joel Armia, Sabres legend. Kesselring chirping on the bench. That's something we've seen from him, right? A little bit of extracurriculars. Brings a little bit of grit. He said openly that he does not enjoy fighting, but he will do it if need be. One of the big, things when we did the Peterka trade was his ability to fight and be chippy. So we've certainly seen that in his limited playing time so far this season. Keep in mind, he was the big fish in the Peterka trade, whereas Doan was just the throw-in. Crazy how that turned out so far. Dahlin, another giveaway, but a great job by Zach Metza to cover up behind the net and take away the bumper shot. Shout out Zach Metza there. That's going to be a play you don't see on the highlights, but potentially just saved a goal. Now Quinn intercepts the pass behind the net, and he leaves it there for McLeod. McLeod around to Metza. Metza protects it right by the blue line. And oh boy, McLeod went down as he tried to get out of the way of the referee, and a Kings player was coming. He just kind of fell down there. Kings back the other way, 4-on-3. They'll bring it into the corner. Metza finishes his check in the corner. Dahlin unable to get it up to Quinn. So Quinn has to go down. The Kings will maintain possession. Job by Metza again, clearing off his guy, and Quinn will bring it outside the zone to the blue line, to the red line, back to the blue line. Dowdy will take the puck behind his own net, but Quinn bought enough time for his line to change. Nice drop pass there, quick shot. That one goes wide. Power retrieves it. Looking for an outlet pass. He finds one. Here we go. Quick 3-on-2 for the kid line. Doan. Unload to Osland. Osland. Find the net. Turns it over, and here come the Kings again. And this Osland Hellenis pairing. This is a team in the Kings where they're not going to have too much success because they play kind of that boxy style defense, but power 3-on-2 back the other way. Don't, and they blow it off sides. A great opportunity there, but once again, Owen Power being indecisive at the blue line, off sides. One of my biggest gripes with Owen Power is his indecisiveness and just a drop pass. You can't do that. I mean, you got a clear cut 3-on-2, and he just makes the wrong decision at the blue line. You have to get in the zone before you make that pass. A wasted opportunity there, but Sabres' fourth line in Krebs wins the draw. Back to Kesselring. And Owen Power going to be one of those guys where I think it's 50-50 on him, whether he turns into a star in this league or if he is just always going to be super hesitant, 50-50 on everything. The book is still open on him, and I think we're still a couple years away from finding out if he's legit or not. Whoa, Krebs taken down behind the Sabres net. No penalty called. But a fortunate bounce for the Sabres will lead Kozak up the ice. Malenstein's going to chase it the rest of the way down the ice. You know he's going to be aggressive. Nice hit in the corner by him. Kesselring, nice step up. Kozak in front of the net. Bounces to the point. Samuelson. The Krebs, nice little move. Oh my, he got Byfield in a blender in the corner, but his pass outside of the zone to Samuelson, and Krebs leans his head back in disappointment, but Sabres got another chance for a rush, and quickly realizes that and gets it back into the Sabres end. Power taken down, no penalty there. Benson's out there, and the Sabres send their first line out there for the remainder. Here we go. Nice outlet pass to Tuck, but he loses it. Had one more guy to beat. He beat two, but 2-on-3 back for the Kings with 15 seconds left. Sabres got to play good defense here to end the period, and they do. Good job by Owen Power. Down to Tuck, and Tuck's all offense here. 8 seconds, swings it, but it's outside the zone. Power just going to shoot it back in on Kemper. Nice little sneaky shot there. That will end the first period. 2-0 after the first shots. 12 for the Kings, only 8 for the Sabres. So the shooting percentage continues to be insanely high for this Sabres group. I'll be back in a couple minutes. I'm going to go grab a drink, refresh. Got how tiring it is on the old vocal cords streaming, but I'll be back in a couple of minutes. You guys can stay right here, talk it up in chat. Again, if you guys are new, leave a like, subscribe. Thank you guys for joining. And yeah, I'll be back in a couple of minutes to recap the first, and then we'll get into the second. All right, all right, all right. Intermission report. Victor hitting us with the score updates. Washington up 1-0 on Detroit. I think we want Detroit to keep losing, so I think that's good. Boston up 1-0 on Philly. Not so good. I think we definitely want Boston to keep losing as well there in the wild card. The drink of choice tonight, a little bit of, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. Got the SpongeBob water bottle here. I don't know how it's going to show up on camera. I think it's pretty bright, but yeah, to recap that first period, we had the Tuck power play goal and the Samuelson point shot goal. No goals against. Montreal up 3-1 on the Avalanche. That is unfortunate. Colorado slumping in at just the wrong time. They're playing teams that we need them to beat, and they're not winning. So thanks for nothing, Colorado. Maybe they'll come back. Yeah, 3 goals in the first period for the Canadians. But the Sabres just got to keep winning. Just keep winning. Boston up 2-0 on the Flyers. Carolina up 1-0 on Utah. Nashville up 1-0 on the Devils. That's good. Rangers and Islanders tied at 0. Chicago, Pittsburgh tied 1-1. Tampa Bay, unfortunately, up 1-0 on Winnipeg. We got 2 later games to keep an eye on, 8 o'clock start. We want the Panthers to lose in St. Louis. 9 o'clock start, we want the Leafs to lose in Seattle. Yep, Colorado just always killing the Sabres in every way possible. Unfortunate. But we can certainly hope that they come back against Montreal. Montreal, a team that gives up a lot of goals, but they score a lot as well. Hopefully, hopefully that is hopefully that's something that we can change moving forward. Hopefully some of these Atlantic teams stop playing so good, because seems, this is the year for the Sabres, but every other team is having that kind of year as well. So we'll see if the Sabres can hold on to a playoff spot at the end of the year. And I don't want to get my hopes up, because they've let us down every single time in recent times. So, and far from a sure thing this year, the Sabres team. They certainly have the pieces to do it, but they're still a few pieces away from being a team we could look at as a legitimate threat for the Stanley Cup, right? And the main issue with this team is the playoff experience. When they get to the playoffs, I mean, we look at this roster. Who on this roster has played in a playoff game before? We go through the lineup. Jason Zucker, there's one. Alex Tuck, but it's been a long time for him. I'm going to have to pull up a list of names to even think of anyone else that's had playoff experience. I mean, Beckman Allenstein's had AHL playoff experience, if that counts. We'll see what they can do. We're doing a little video breakdown now in the intermission report. Something that I've noticed watching the Sabres this season, I've still watched every game, even though I haven't been streaming it. And the Sabres intermission report is still a little bit low budget. They the video's fine, the highlights are fine, but the mic quality is absolutely terrible. And for for a company and brand is, as reliable and as well known as MSG, you would think they would have that under control, but I mean, the mics in arena are usually fine, but when they're on the road, the microphones are terrible in whatever studio they use. It is almost unlistenable sometimes. You got mic popping, you got it's something that needs to be fixed. And we have a lot of new Sabres fans that have just started watching this season too. So that's something that I think if you're, anyone, working for the Sabres or for marketing or PR or anything, I feel like you got to reach out to MSG and say, get it together, right? Like we can't have people tuning out of games because of intermission report quality. And it has nothing to do with the content. It has nothing to do with what they're saying. It's just the presentation wise, has to get better from an audio standpoint. I mean, this is television, right? And it's sometimes, I cannot watch the intermission report, but that's something that I think a lot of sports need to get better at. And the NBA, I think, usually has the best one on prime time, but halftime reports, intermission reports, it's tough. And hockey intermissions being 18 minutes apiece makes it near impossible. They're highlighting Zach Benson, Mr. Mini Donut. You guys remember that video that they pumped out before the season? You're now less than a month away from spring training, so baseball will be getting going. As always, I'll say high key Mets games, maybe some playoff Mets games if they make it. I'll think about streaming, but other than that, I don't think we're gonna do too many baseball streams this year, unless there's a big want for it. If you guys petition for some rivalry game, I think we could do that. Same goes for NBA. Speaking of NBA, Milwaukee down by 11 to the Wizards, a team that is very bad, and Giannis has requested a trade. That will be very interesting. If we got any score updates here, I don't think so. No scoring since we last checked. A little stat checking here, see what the plus minuses are looking like. If anything, if anyone's +2, doesn't look like it. Owen Power, 2 shots on net. So 2 of the 8 shots have been from Owen Power. 2 shots from Alex Tuck as well. So those two leading that category. Alex Lyon, 12 saves. So far, perfect. Second periods have plagued the Sabres this season. That's been a theme, right? When the Sabres are up, they usually win when they score first, but they also shift to this defensive, to try not to lose mentality in the second and third. And sometimes it gets a little dicey, but they've had the puck luck this year for the first time in the last 10 years. But that's a great question, Don, and I think that poses our biggest question of the night. Where is Elijah? Don't know if Elijah will be joining tonight or not, but a definite regular in the chat. Actually looking forward to watching Olympic hockey competition. Watching all the other countries compete. Yeah, I'm very excited for it. I think it's going to be great that the NHL players are there. Hopefully, no one gets injured, right? That's the biggest concern. But, as long as everyone stays healthy, I think it's going to be phenomenal. We saw what the Four Nations was like. That was one of the most fun hockey tournaments I've ever seen. All age groups. I thought that was more fun than the World Juniors, more fun than some previous Olympics. That was just a great tournament. We were live for a couple of those games. Just absolutely electric hockey. Of course, you have the four main countries in that, so every game was competitive to an extent. Whereas the Olympics, of course, a game between Canada and Italy is not going to be close, but you never know. And I'm sure we'll end up with, the notorious 4 or 6 teams left once we get to the knockout stages. Hopefully, Yuri Kulik can play in that. Right, he would be on Team Czechia if he was healthy, but I really don't see a world where Yuri Kulik would be able to play if he's only skated a few times, and I don't know the extent of his injury, but we know he is on blood thinners, and I don't know if he still is, but you obviously are not going to let him play in a game if he's on or was on those relatively recently. Versus the NHL, a league where a lot of sharp objects, sticks, skate blades, puck, even like the edge of like a blocker. If you go by the goalie, you don't want to get cut if you're on that sort of medication. So I think they're going to take every precaution necessary with Yuri Kulik, and it helps that this team has been red hot without him, right? You don't have to rush him back. Looks like we're getting ready to go here for the second period, doing their last little chat before they drop the puck. All done with the SpongeBob water bottle. I can join the others in the back here. Dollar store steaks. Actually, a dollar store steak connoisseur. So Jaden's had a few delivered, so he'd probably be the better guy to ask on that. I know he sometimes orders some. Looks like everyone's ready to go for the second period here. Let me know if the audio is still good. I got the mic sitting down on the desk now, a little bit farther away. Let me know if it's still an appropriate volume or if I should turn my volume up. People in here. Thank you guys for joining. Again, if you guys are new, leave a like and subscribe. Kings win the second period draw, opening draw, and we are back underway here. And icing already on the Kings, so Sabres will have an early opportunity in this period to get some offense going. In future games too, I'll get a roster printed out for the other team or line, so I'm a little more sharp. Kings being a team that not as mainstream as they once were, so they got some guys out there I don't know by number, but and YouTube cooking a dollar store steak. I mean, you could probably if you add the right seasoning and the right cooking method, probably make it at least tolerable. Yeah, $1.50 steak. Thompson loses the draw. Benson into the corner. Nice work behind the net. He's got a look, and nice chance there in front of the net. They're still jamming away at it. Tuck. It's still loose. Still loose in the corner. And now the Kings able to get it away. Close call there. Benson with his patented behind the net pass in front. That one batted down with a high stick. They say no. Byfield keeps it in, and a good stick by Tuck to deflect it into the corner of Benson. Alongside the boards, he gets taken down. No penalty, and Byfield. Oh, I think that one hit the crossbar. And now glove save by Lyon. A little bit of chaos there for the Sabres trying to get the puck out of their zone. It looked like Benson was hauled down, but no penalty. Led to two quality chances for the Kings. Alex Lyon stays strong again. We'll take a look at this Byfield play. And yep, that one beat Lyon over the shoulder, but right off the crossbar. Stayed out. Ooh, right off the crossbar. And the other shot saw the whole way. Snared it with his glove. Power gets it up to Zucker, 2-on-2 into the offensive zone. Quinn, he's going to swing it around the net. Doesn't get all the way to the point to Byram, so the Kings will be able to start to rush back the other way. But again, the Kings have to turn around. A team that does not thrive on the rush. More of a dump and chase team, get it set up in the zone rather than a quick team that's going to kill you with speed and accuracy. The corner, Kings starting with their little rotation out. Dowdy up top. Swings it around to the far boards. Loud now in there to help out. He gets it around his own net, and he's going to look for a breakout, but nobody's really open, so he'll swing it to the middle of the ice. That one deflected the rest of the way. No icing, and Zucker will chase after this. The rest of his line goes off for a change. The Kings are going to try another dump and chase. This time Kesselring gets a stick on it first, but he turns it over, and here come the Kings again, rotating it around. Send something coming for the Kings. Sabres got to put out the momentum, and now they do with Osland. Backhands it into the zone. Doan chases after it, but immediately back the other way. Delayed offsides. The Kings will set up near center ice. And another dump and chase into the corner. So you can tell the Kings are going to try to outpower the Sabres for the rest of this game and stick with their plan for now. But if it gets to the third period and it's still a 2-goal deficit or more, they're not going to be able to do this. Kesselring behind the net. Drops it for Dahlin, and Kings are going off for a change. So Dahlin has a nice outlet pass to Osland. Osland drops it for Hellenis, and he takes a shot right into the glove of Kemper. He'll hold that one for a face-off. Hellenis, a guy that his strong suit's definitely a shot, and that was a well-placed shot, but didn't have his normal speed on it. So easy save, no screen in front. Yeah, when Gretzky was traded, yeah, that was. I've seen some videos about that day and how that process went along. And I mean, could you imagine that? I mean, that would be. I don't even know how to compare that. That would be like the Chiefs trading Mahomes right now just because they couldn't afford him. Bucks loose in front of the net. Benson now. Oh, good chance in front, but didn't have too much space. So Kemper able to cover up, and we'll have another offensive draw. Sabres catching up in shots, 14-12 now. It was a good setup by Tuck, was able to get it down low to Benson, and yeah, his shot just got kind of stopped the second it went off his stick. Too in close to really make any move and didn't have anywhere to put it. Kings win the draw, and they immediately clear it. Now it's thrown to the net. Metza was there to break that play up, but Kings still have pressure in there in the Sabres zone. Back to the point. They're doing a good job rotating the puck this period. That one in on Lyon, able to make a pad save. And Benson tripped up at center ice. That's like the third time this game. Still no arm up. Now a shot on Lyon. That one's going to be gloved and held. Pretty sure the Kings have a Hellenius as well, which is going to be confusing in this game. But Samuel Hellenius. We'll see if any of the Hellenii can score today. Ozak with some speed into the zone. Nice drop pass. Allenstein looking for a slap pass. It didn't really work out, and it's batted down to the corner. Kings still having some difficulty getting it outside the zone, and now Krebs to the center. Ozak stumbling with it. Down low to Krebs. Krebs taking it into the corner. Still taking it into the corner. Now behind the net, looking for a drop pass to someone. Malenstein pins it along the far boards. He has a little bit of space now. Swing pass. Oh, it almost ends up in the net right off the pad of Kemper and now into the near corner. And Doughty's going to get a stick on that and he'll clear it halfway down the ice. Not enough for icing. And Byram chases it down. He'll get it up to Power. Power's pass off a Krebs stick, so no icing. Malenstein, big hit behind the play. Good job by Malenstein finishing his check after his shift. Now Quinn plays it back to Dahlin. Dahlin, nice pass up top, but that's going to be, they say no offsides, but it looked offsides. Certainly looked close. They say no offsides, though, so Sabres will keep their possession. A floater, and Dahlin now behind the net for McLeod to Zucker, and that one pops right out to the blue line. King's able to clear, so now it won't matter if that was offsides or not. Kings setting it up. Nice play. Oh, and in front of the net, Lyon got hit, and Dahlin's going to deal with that one. It's loose. They score. And their Sabres are clearly going to question this one as Alex Lyon a couple times was hit outside of the play. The referees are talking about it. They haven't called it a goal just yet. Still talking about it. Let's take a look at the replay here. So Corey Perry goes into Lyon. There's no whistle. It doesn't look like Dahlin hit him. Dahlin takes exception to it. And then it ended up in front of the net, and Lafreniere ended up putting it in the net. Now we're going to have a call. And they say no goal, goaltender interference. So there you go. The referees talked it over and changed the call to no goal. Now, we'll see if the Kings want to challenge this and have them take a look at it. But clearly, Perry was, yeah, I think it definitely affected Lyon enough to put him out of position. He did make the first save on Lafreniere. It was the rebound that he allowed that went in. So technically the Kings could have something to say about this. The fact that the refs didn't blow it dead right away when Perry went into Lyon, they should have. So this is on the refs. I mean, the Kings have a valid point. They didn't blow it dead. And by the time the puck went in the net, Lyon was already back up and in the play. He made a save before the puck ended up in the net. So this will be certainly discussed in the league replay room and among the higher ups around the league. The NHL very inconsistent with their rules, so we don't truly know what is goaltender interference, what isn't. Yeah, Lyon is very fun to watch and very confident, right? So they're not going to challenge it. They're not going to look at it. It's no goal. Sabres won the draw. Samuelson plays it up. Deflected just before the red line, so it's going to be an icing. You can understand why the Kings would be mad about this. Not that it wasn't goaltender interference, but the fact that it wasn't blown dead until the puck ended up in the net. A little bit of a late call by the refs. And the Sabres could complain too, right? I mean, that could be a goaltender interference call where it's a penalty because it didn't result in a goal. So at the end of the day, the refs, get the call right, but took them quite a bit. Step up by Samuelson to keep that puck in the offensive zone. Ostlund around the corner. He can't keep possession, but now it bounces right back to him. Doan plays it back to the point. The Sabres might get something set up out of this. Metza, his shot goes wide up. Glove down by Ostlund in the corner. Nice hip check to keep it. Now he's got two Sabres in front of the net. It bounces off Hellenius' stick, and Kemper it will hold on. 14-14 to go here in the second. A good opportunity there for the Sabres, but no shot really came out of it. Ostlund was able to throw it in front of the net with Hellenius and Doan sitting waiting for it with no one else there and could not control the pass. But once again, that line creating offensive chances. It didn't work out, but one of those plays that maybe one every 3 times ends up in the back of the net. Sabres lose the draw. Kings will clear it. No, they won't clear it. Great jump up by Alex Tuck to keep it in. Gloved it down. Age in the corner. A shot off the side of the net. Now played back to the point for Power. Good keep in to Byram. Keeps it in again. Very close to the blue line. Tage tried the cross creaser, but intercepted and back. Ward and the rest of the Kings go. Power now behind his net. Is a power move. Now a drop pass to Tuck. Sabres get set up. Benson looking behind the net. He's going to go all the way around. Finds Byram at the point. Byram, wrist shot, tip, scores! Alex Tuck gets a deflection on the point shot, and Sabres up 3-0. Alex Tuck's second goal of the night. Maybe adding a couple digits onto his next contract with that one. We'll have to look at it again. Another close play, almost offsides there at the blue line. But nice job by Benson facilitating that one. A good shot in front of the net, looking for a deflection by Byram. And Alex Tuck was right there, deflecting it into the far corner of the net. So the goat head jersey's working out tonight. After losing their effectiveness, it seemed, the last couple years. That one will stand 3-0. Now, quick turnover in front of the net. Malenstein almost had a one-on-one look, but nothing turned out of that one, and now the Kings settle it down behind their own net. Once again, Lindy Ruff putting this fourth line out right after a goal, settling things down. And you kind of got to stay in the middle, right? You can't get too high or too low. Ozak being a menace out there into the corner. Now Malenstein chases Doughty into the corner. A good play by Doughty to play it back, and Sabres going to go off for a change. Krebs is staying out there now. He gets called to the bench. He wanted one more hit on that shift. Shots are now tied at 17 apiece. Kempe will do a drop pass before heading off for a change, and Doughty sends it the rest of the way down the ice. Samuelson chases after it. Dahlin slash, and that's going to be a penalty on Dahlin. So Samuelson will touch up in the corner, and Rasmus Dahlin for a slash will go to the penalty box with 12:24 to go in the second. Dahlin, someone who seems to end up in the penalty box at least once a night, coming off a hat trick. But Alex Tuck, 1 goal away from a hat trick. Always love the goat heads. Yeah, definitely the surprise pupil Sabres jersey. I know the Sabres are one of those teams, though, that you really can't have a bad jersey. Especially nowadays when they have the Royal home away and the goat heads. I know next year every team is supposedly getting a new alternate jersey, so much like the reverse retros, they'll be able to wear it, I don't know, maybe 10 times a year or something like that. I think it's supposed to, I forget the exact name of it, but it's like hometown threads or something like that, kind of like the city jerseys that NBA teams have. We'll see what the Sabres do. I've heard some rumors that it's going to be a black jersey or gray type jersey. Some other people are also saying it might include a yellow forward jersey. So we don't really know too much. There's been minimal leaks on any of those jerseys, but there was one guide that had primary color black, which or like a darker gray, which I don't know if you'd go goat head in that or if they would take the traditional logo into a darker theme. I don't know for sure. But definitely a good start for the Sabres in this game. And this has just kind of become our expectation this year, right? Like we go into this game thinking that we should win by a few goals, and they're up at 3-0 right now. But a crucial penalty kill here. You don't want to give the Kings one right back because one can turn into 2 by the end of the period, and then all of a sudden it's anyone's game. Certainly a slashing call on Dahlin. Moore was the recipient of the slash. A normal logo, alternate color scheme. That could definitely look cool. See what they decide to do. There's a good chance they score. Kempe, nice deflection in front of the net. Bad box out by the Sabres on that penalty kill. And Dahlin costing the team on that penalty. 3-1 now. After the play was over, Corey Perry and Alex Lyon were chirping a little bit back and forth. Corey Perry probably said something along the lines of that one will count. Alex Lyon said something back. But Perry still doesn't have too much to talk about. His team's still down 2 goals. 12 minutes to go in the second. Going with speed. Waiting for Hellenius. Hellenius toe drag, but his shot is blocked. And the Kings will go back the other way, 2-on-2 quickly. Gonna be a shot right on. Lyon holds on to that one. 11:57. We'll have a defensive zone draw upcoming. Would have been nice if the Sabres could have turned that Hellenius shot into a goal to get it right back, but unable to do so. Tried a little toe drag, a little Jack Quinn special, but it did not pan out. Royal Blue Slug. Whew. There are some people saying that could be their next reverse retro because there's not much else to do there, but I don't know if they're going to have a reverse retro 3.0 anytime soon. There's a point shot, 6 saved by Lyon. The Cloud's going to kind of skate backwards. Now turns it up ice, gets it to Zucker. Samuelson, nice outlet pass. Quinn now up top to McLeod. McLeod behind the net with some space to the point. Power drop pass to Byram. Drop pass to McLeod. Now finds Quinn. Oh, almost a great setup for Byram, but he fanned on the shot. I think it might have been deflected. Would have had a very good look if he got a stick on that one. Well-designed play by that entire line. Now the Kings back the other way, though, and that turns into nothing. They're going to go off for a change. McLeod looking up ice, knowing his line probably needs a change too. He'll dump it and go off for a change. Comes Clark up the ice for the Kings. He'll circle his entire zone while both teams finish up the change. Here comes Perry. He takes a shot, deflected, and held on to. Armia, that shot was deflected, and sometimes even if a good shot is deflected to make it very slow, that could be goaltender's worst nightmare, right? You get in the right position for a hard shot, and it just kind of trickles by you. But good job by Lyon staying with that one, even though it appeared easy on TV. It's certainly a more difficult shot to save than you'd think. Sabres first line out there, they're going to try to skate at 3-on-2 up ice. Benson tosses it down low to Kesselring in front of the net. Tuck, oh, looking for the hat trick, but missed high. Now Benson digging at it in the corner. Kings have space. They get it behind the net, and Fiala will take it the rest of the way up ice, and he backhands it up top to Armia. Armia has it pinned, and Puck can't get a stick on it. Now he does, and he's pushing forward, and it's a 2-on-2 back the other way, but he goes off sides. Back Benson getting a little too fast, and Alex Tuck not on the same wavelength, but that's one of those maybe purposeful offsides that we see a bunch where, you know, that line needed a change, and Alex Tuck in his head maybe he's thinking, maybe I'll slow down a little bit and get off and put some fresh troops out there on the ice. You see that a lot. Try not to make it obvious, but, you know, if you've ever played hockey or you're a big hockey nerd, you know that a lot of times players do purposely go off sides in situations like that. Of course, if you purposely go on a delayed offside, the face-off is in your end. You see that from time to time. Try to limit that, you know, being able to just go off for a change. Dahlin up top in his own defensive end. Played up for Malenstein. Malenstein taken out of the play. Good job defending. But now it's down low to Krebs. Krebs, oh, he's getting held on to. Now he's taken down. No penalty call. A couple times there, you could have probably called a penalty. Krebs was hooked and then taken down to the ice. Could have called interference. Could have called a variety of things there, but nothing called. Now the Kings back the other way. Shot on Lyon. Big rebound. Secondary shot goes over the net. Back to the point to Doughty. Got blocked by Kozak. His stick snaps in two, and the Kings still have the puck, rotating it around. Another one, and it's loose in front of the net. Alex Lyon goes down. Krebs gets the rebound in the corner, and Malenstein will take it the rest of the way down the ice. Wasn't able to get it all the way down, but got it as far as the blue line, so the Sabres were able to change a couple people. One shot, another good save by Lyon. Now the Sabres finally able to skate it to the red line, dump it down, and they'll finish their change. So Kings have a lot of momentum in this game right now. Sabres got to shut that down. You don't want to let the Kings back into this one with a late period goal. Power looking for an outlet pass. Finds Oslin to Doan. Doan. Great in space. Byram stepped into the play, but a good job by Perry to shut that one down, and it'll go back into the Sabres' end. Power quickly back up, but Oslin couldn't handle the pass. And the Kings will send it back to center ice. Perry gets a stick on it, no icing. Power spins himself in a circle, but was able to find it just in time to avoid disaster. Byram up to Oslin, backhands it along the boards to Hellenis. Doan to the red line, and he's going to shoot it the rest of the way, but the defense by the Kings did not let that go all the way down the ice, so this group cannot change, and now Byfield with some space back to the point. That one gloved down and held by Lyon. So Alex Lyon having to come up big these last couple minutes. Kings up to 25 shots in the game. Rough little section there after the goal for the Sabres, but it's got to weather the storm. Still up by 2 goals. That commercial here, again, a major game to win, especially with the other Atlantic teams, it seems, winning it tonight. The Sabres can stay ahead. They just got to continue to keep this pace, as crazy as it may sound. It's going to take a lot to make the playoffs this year. A team that hasn't done it before either in recent times, right? So the pressure is going to be on. We know they're going to be nervous going into the later stages, post Olympic break. We know they're going to be a little bit tense, even if they're playing at this level and at this pace. They're still going to be nervous because they know how much a playoff appearance would mean to the city and to this team, and potentially some guys' bank accounts in the near future. We're back here, 7:56 to go. Scraping the ice still, but back from a TV timeout. Ryan continuing to play on his head, absolutely. Seems he does that every game. Every game that they win when he's in it, they start off hot, and then he has to kind of bail them out a little bit in the second period, and sometimes at the end of the game too. When yeah, delayed offsides there, Byfield touches up on it, so that one will come outside the zone for a face-off. But yeah, it seems every time the Sabres are against a team when they have their goalie pulled, there's one prime opportunity before the Sabres can get it out. But here's that situation I was just talking about when there's a delayed offsides and they still touch up on it. Um, after a few seconds, they move the face off back a spot wherever the pass was. So they're at center ice here for this face off. Byfield wins it. Back to Doughty. Tage able to get it across to Samuelson. He'll join the rush here with Benson. Down low for Samuelson. Things with speed to center, 3-on-3, but a good stick knocks that one away. Dahlin. He's got a little bit of space, and he's going to take it all the way in. Now the Kings step up on him. Play it into the corner. Benson, alone behind the net. Doughty steps up on him. They play it to Tage. He just passed it. Tuck does not end up on Tuck's stick. Instead, stolen, but a good job by Thompson to make up for that. He steals it right back. Dahlin, the middle of the ice. A nice give and go play. And that one, oh, Samuelson almost. Nice setup. Samuelson now at the point again. Gets it to Tuck. Back to Samuelson. And oh, it pops off Samuelson's stick and outside the zone. The Kings will go for a change. Sabres as well. It's actually Power, not Samuelson. Power. Now it makes sense why the puck just magically bounced off his stick. There's a chance. Oh, and Krebs just misses a rebound. He would have had a golden look right in front of the net, but could not get a hold of it. Kings able to clear it now. So that was a nice little shift for the Sabres. Maybe it could swing the momentum back the other way. Back to the point. Ceci. Back up top. Now down low to Ceci again. Fiala, nice bat down by Power. Backhand just out of the reach of Kozak, but he gets a stick on it. Momentarily gets it out, but Armia back in the zone. Sabres half change. Back to the point for Ceci, down low. Power still out there, a long shift for him. Kesselring knocked down in front of his own net. Sabres cannot let this a goal. Kozak pucks in his skates. Krebs is going to have a little bit of a look to get it out, but instead he turns back the other way. Now it's pinned along the boards. Good positioning by Kozak, though. He'll play it back to Kesselring, but he's got two Kings on him right away. Now Kozak ends up taking it out, and Sabres will get that much-needed change. Right back in the Sabres end, though. Got to be careful with the puck. Osland. An iffy pass. And the Kings right back in the offensive zone. So the Kings, definitely a momentum swing here. Perry in the corner. His shot almost ends up in the far corner, but just misses the net. Ends up at the point. Kings continue to rotate it around. There's a shot. Glove down and held by Lyon. Board in front of the net, but couldn't get a piece of it. We'll head to commercial. 4:25 to go in the second. Not the most pretty 10 minutes of hockey for the Sabres. But we'll see if the Sabres can hold on to this one. Kind of doing the same thing they usually do, right? The other team's going to give that push, and the Sabres are kind of going to sit back and let them rotate the puck, but try not to give up any high danger situations. Your final score predictions in the chat. For me, I will say a 5-4. The Sabres will go up 5-3 at one point in the game, and then the Kings will get a late goal, but it won't matter. Back from commercial break, 4:25 to go. Sabres probably hoping this period just ends, still up 2 goals. Colleen's 400th point in his last game. I believe this is Tage Thompson's 500th game as a Buffalo Sabre tonight. Just had his 500th game in the league the other night, but had that one game with the Blues that threw things off. A 500th game for the Sabres. There's a nice play down low to Kempe, but his shot saved, and another one right into the glove of Lyon from Lafreniere. The Kings really pouring it on here in the second period, up to 29 shots. Alex Lyon staying strong in net. A couple of grade A opportunities you can't allow. Yeah, just the spacing was not good on either of those. I'll lean way off Kempe in the corner and then chase Kempe into the corner. And no one covered Lafreniere in the slot. Good job by Lyon to make up for both of those defensive blunders. That one bobbled at the line, and the Sabres get it around the net. Quinn drops it for Zucker. Dahlin. Oh, now McLeod in the corner. Zucker looking for someone. Back to Quinn, but could not hold on to that one. Is able to clear the zone. Sabres top line back out there. Open for a little offense. Now 3-on-2. We'll see if they get that. Tage tries a dipsy doodle around 2, and that one well defended, but Benson takes a sharp angle shot. Now glove down by Tage. His backhand. Oh, it's bouncing all over the place. Kemper able to glove it and hold on. Thompson takes a spill after the play. He seems all right. 3:20 to go. That's good to see. The Blues are up on Florida. Carolina losing to Utah. Also good, just in case Carolina falls off. Yeah, weird bounce. Well played by Kemper, who and just stayed down, didn't open up. Face off one, back to Power. A shot deflected up and wide. Benson able to maintain possession, though. Gets it to Tuck. Nice pass to Power. Power takes another wrist shot. That one gloved and held. Tage unable to get a piece of it on its way to Kemper's glove. So with 3:06, we'll run back another offensive zone draw. Washington still up 1-0 on Detroit. Couple good looks for the Sabres, though. This is good. They got to end the period strong. You don't want the Kings going into the third thinking they got a chance in this game. Face off one, but the wing that was empty, Kesselring has to skate all the way over there and gets it to Dahlin, who pushed off the puck into the corner. Byfield, nice job. Him and Fiala. They're going to be able to get it back to the point. Doughty, not great puck battles for the Sabres in this game. But that's the kind of team the Kings are, right? They're going to win those down low puck battles. Ozak, his speed, trying to get a 2-on-1. It's not going to be, but almost had a nice look for Malenstein up top. Pass deflected. The Kings will hit the referee. And Armia keeps it in the zone. Sabres got to look out there. That's bad defense from Samuelson. Left a wide open shot in on Lyon, but Lyon stayed with it. Kings once again dropped. There's a slap shot, misses the net from Armia. And went out of play. Lyon once again bailing the team out. A couple of good looks. Samuelson just no stick in the lane, and then somehow the puck got free, and it ended up turning into another good chance. The point. Tampa Bay up 3-1 on Winnipeg. Not good there. McLeod gets kicked out of the defensive draw. Zucker will move in against Armia. Zucker wins the draw. Byram puts a stick on it and plays it up to McLeod, who will touch it to center ice. CC outlet pass to Armia. That one, Zucker stopped, but Armia able to regain possession and get it across the blue line. Now Quinn steals it along the boards. He'll chip it up to Zucker. Zucker gloves it down, tries to play it ahead, but CC held on to him there. That should have been a penalty, but wasn't. McLeod keeps it in, but his pass to Quinn, of course, bounces right off Quinn's stick and outside the zone. I'm pretty sure, I mean, Quinn's stick has to have springs in it because he cannot control a puck for his life. I mean, every pass that touches his stick bounces right off. I've never seen a player so bad at holding onto the puck, but his shot is lethal. So if they could figure out how to solve the puck handling problem, Quinn could be a very good player in this league. But so far in his career, they haven't. Kings get it across Kempe. Down low. Once again, poor defense by the Sabres. Another quality look on Lyon. Able to make a pad save. Now Lyon has to hit it to the side with his stick. Finally, the Sabres able to clear it, and they will have numbers 3-on-2 back the other way. Doan and back to Power down low to Hellenius, but it was so obvious, such a slow developing play. They were able to stop it. Now Osland played it back to Power. 25 seconds to go in this period. You might want to hold for one more chance. Osland able to tip that one deep inside of the zone. But Doughty takes it the other way. Now 15 seconds. The Kings thinking maybe one more look. Lyon out of his net to chase it down. Hellenius will get that one out of the zone. And a little bit of pushing and shoving. Period will end. 3-1. All things considered, very nice period for the Sabres. Still up by 2. The other Hellenius going at it with Doan. Going into tonight's game, Buffalo's point differential is +20, a far cry from what they were in the negatives a few months back. Yeah, crazy how this year is turned. I mean, they started off decent, right? They were injured, but we were like, man, if they could just get healthy, this team could do it. And yeah, then they went on a pretty bad losing streak, a pretty bad stretch where there was just 3 games lost, then 1, then 3 games lost. Then they went on the winning streak, and it seems the opposite of most years, right? Usually it's that big losing streak that knocks them out of it. This year, the big winning streak got them right back in it from last to first in the wild card and now third in the Atlantic. Settle on the second. I will be back for the third. Stay right here. You guys can chat it up in the comments. And yep, we'll be back for the third. We'll see if the Sabres can hold this one and get the much needed 2 points. All right, we are back. Third period time. Shots on goal 31 to 22 in favor of the Kings. Shot attempts 46 to 41 in favor of the Kings. Power play 1-for-1 for the Sabres, 1-for-2 for the Kings. Sabres actually leading in faceoffs. Interesting there, 23 to 19. Kings with double the hits, 19 to 8. And blocked shots, double the block shots, 12 to 6. I think the jerseys look nice. Those intermission jerseys. Got 2 minutes left on our Dono goal. See if anyone could fill that one. Um, Tap off. Maybe a little good luck Dono for the third period, but it is going to be a challenging one for the Sabres. Sabres going to have to deal with an aggressive push. Kings need two, so they're going to need a quick goal. Nope. A commercial break, and I think when we come back, they'll be dropping the puck for the third. Keys to the third period for the Sabres have to stay aggressive. You cannot just sit back and let the Kings torch leave or lie on. Have to stay aggressive, and that is one of the biggest challenges I think for me is keeping track of Levi and Lyon. Um, we were told that Levi is going to be our guy going forward. Promised it a couple seasons ago, and now we bring in a guy with such a similar name. The amount of times I accidentally say Levi instead of Lyon is substantial. Yeah, cool color scheme. I think they look good. The promotional jerseys they got going on there. It was so good to watching them good again. Exactly. It's been so long, and I'm not going to get my hopes up just yet because there's still too much time in the season to start talking about anything beyond the regular season. But we're getting close to that time where we'll be able to start thinking about that. They'll have a 2 week long Olympic break in between now and then, though. 21 people in here. Again, if you guys are new, be sure to leave a like and sub. We are getting up there on subs again, which is nice to see. Up to, let's see what we're at now, 3342. Not too shabby. And YouTube's just become so much different from when we first started a couple of years ago, right? It's all short form content. Longer form doesn't do as well, and the live streams have stayed consistent, but obviously time consuming too. So thank you guys for being here and showing support. It means a lot. Um, yeah, I'm sure like everything, we'll see that flip flop a bunch, right? Like in the next 10 years, I'm sure long form and podcasts will be back to the main thing, and short form content will be back to a secondary asset, right? But they've certainly changed quite a bit since TikTok has become so dominant. Just taking a look at the Kings goal in that last period before they dropped the puck. Just a nice setup. Maybe the Sabres could implement that little play in their power play. That seems to a rough patch again, although they are 1-for-1 today on a fluky goal. We'll take it. Third period started. Sabres win the draw. Alien backhands it all the way down the ice. Now the clock is the Sabres' friend here. Kempe to center ice, brings it in with some speed. A little give and go play, but a good job by Tage to break that one up. Now he's got plenty of space in his own end. He's going to turn up ice and drop it now. Samuelson, Dahlin, the red line. We'll do a little dump and chase, and Tuck will follow it in. Sabres getting a change in. Byram up top to Zucker. Dowdy and the Kings now behind the net, but oh, McLeod almost ripped that one, and now Quinn steps up into the play. He does get a piece of it. Down low, Quinn in the slot. Oh, just missed the net. A perfect tic-tac toe play, but Quinn missed the net. Now Zucker gets dumped to the ice. No call there. Power tries to step up, but unable to do so, and now Byram left with a tricky situation to take care of, but he handles it smoothly and settles the play down in his own end. Power outlet pass. Tipped in, no icing. The Sabres will look to change. One trapped out there right now. It looks like he'll finally get to the bench. The Kings, it's backhand play, but a good save by Lyon. Give him no room on the backhand. Up to 32 shots now. The Kings, a whole lot of shots for them this game. Hasselring went down to a knee. Forced him just to take a was Armia on the shot, just a weak backhand. But sometimes those slip over the shoulder of the goalie. Lyon, good positioning there to make sure that one stayed out. I think that might be some Spanish or French, maybe a 5-2 score prediction. Welcome to the chat. Kozak, nice job breaking up a pass that will force the Kings to exit the zone, and every time they exit the zone, it wastes more time, so that's good to see for the Sabres. Lyon way out of his net. Dangerous play, but Krebs going to end up with the puck, and he'll be able to clear it down for Malenstein. Malenstein loves it over to the other corner, but Kozak boxed out, and the Kings back up the other way. Krebs stripped of the puck down low. And oh my goodness, a huge hit on Metza. Metza able to step back up, but his stick was broke, so he's going to go to the bench. Drop the stick in the defensive end again. That is a rule in the NHL. If your stick is broken anyway, you have to drop it. Sabres cleared the zone. It was on net, so it won't be an icing. And now the Kings will retrack here. Kings definitely a little more aggressive here. They're pinching the defense, trying to get some opportunities. They wanted an early goal in this third. That one whiffed on at the line. Benson. Good job by the Kings to strip him of the puck. And now 3-on-2 back the other way. Slap shot. That one deflected up and into the corner. The Kings Hellenis ended up with it at the point, but now it's back down low. Sabres have to make sure they keep their eyes in front of the net when it's pinned along the boards. Back to the point. Edmondson up top. Now a shot. Deflected into the corner. Tuck. Gets it to the blue line and out. Now a nice little move to Zucker. And Zucker will take it to mid-ice, and he'll try to dump it around the net. Good job by the Kings to settle that down. Edmondson down in the corner. There's a wipeout by the Kings, and Quinn's going to have a nice look. He's going to try to go all the way, but he gets stripped of the puck. So Quinn, instead of shooting, tried to force it to the net and lost it. Now Moore backhands right into the glove of Lyon, and that's where the play will stop. 16:08 to go in this third period. Take a look at this Quinn play again, and yeah, just good job by Anderson on defense, but Quinn probably should have just tried to snipe it top corner instead of cutting to the net there. Quinn definitely a better shooter than puck handler, as we've talked about in depth this game. Hellenis is going to take the defensive zone face off because Oslin got tossed out, and Hellenis wins it. It's played back to the point now, and Anderson keeps it in. His shot deflected, off Oslin's stick and hit the side of the net. A little friendly fire deflection there, but it worked out. Dahlin chips it up to center ice, one of those floater passes that we saw work to Quinn the other day. This time just Used it as a clearance. Kings get it in the zone, but immediately exit. Now they're back in. Good stick by Darlene. The Kings right back in the zone again. Anderson and Dowdy out there for the Kings on defense. Highfield circling, and other Kings player fell to the ice. But now, oh, partial breakaway. Good stick. That could have been dangerous for the Sabres. And not allow the Kings to just slip right through the defense there. I mean, that is up by 2. You cannot let that happen. Hasselring hounding his guy along the boards. Drop pass. The corner. Top. Kings, nice rotation. Tuck, nice block pass. And now Thompson has it behind the net. He boxes out, plays it to Kesselring in the corner. His backhand hits Tuck in the skates, and now Tage will bring it up to center ice. He'll carry it in with some speed. He almost slips down. Now he takes this little wrist shot right into the glove of Kemper. He will hold on to that one. So it looks like the same area of the ice is where these guys keep falling down right in front of, I guess, in between the goalie and the blue line, right in the middle there of the Kings zone is a little bit slick. I don't know. Got to be something there because a Kings player fell down, and less than a minute later, Tage slips on his shooting attempt. Loud wins the draw back to Quinn. Quinn tries to play it back to the point, but nobody's there. Now Metza will be forced to throw it back in the zone. Bouncing puck handled well by the Kings, but now Metza gets a shot on net. Oh, early bounce there, but Kemper finds it and holds on. Puck was loose for a little bit. Quinn couldn't find it. Nobody could find it. But then once it cleared out, Kemper was able to get a glove on it. Nice quick shot by Metza. Almost turned into a goal. Don some French. Yeah, I know a little bit of Spanish, not so much French. Zucker's stick snaps right off the faceoff. He's looking for a penalty, doesn't get one. Now Edmondson able to get it into the Buffalo end, but Armia gloves it down at center ice. And he'll bring it right back into the zone. Samuelson behind the net, plays it back for Metza. Sabres, and they have the lead in the third period. They change it up, and here we go. Quinn behind the defense, toe drag, and his pass goes nowhere, but Zucker on it quickly, and he's open behind the net, finds McLeod. McLeod, oh, tried a backhand pass to the slot. Power would have been there for a wide open look, but pass did not get through. So once again, Quinn unable to form any sort of a high danger threat on an odd man rush. Nice block by Metza in front of the net, and Malenstein now with the rest of that fourth line on the ice, able to play it to center ice, but Malenstein takes down his guy. No penalty called. It looks like it could have been a trip. It wasn't. They're letting him play out there. Several missed calls this game on both sides. Anderson up in the play for the Kings. Gets it to the blue line. Nice hit by Kozak and a nice stick to get it out. Here come the Sabres back the other way. Krebs gets tripped, and that's going to be a penalty for sure. It is Hellenius on the Kings, so he'll go to the box. The Sabres will return from commercial break with a power play. Good job by Krebs using his speed, set up by a nice defensive play by Kozak. What could have been a 2-on-1 ends up becoming a power play. I think we'll take that because the 2-on-1 would have been Malenstein and Krebs. Probably not getting anything out of that. So we'll certainly take that. St. Louis up on Florida by 2 goals now. That's good. Detroit tied Washington. Last thing we want to see is that game going to overtime. That would not be great. Well, off topic, but Belichick not getting into the Hall of Fame first ballot is definitely a debate topic. As a Buffalo fan, I'm a little biased, but if you turn a blind eye to all the cheating allegations, he most certainly should be in the Hall of Fame. But of course, all that stuff happened, and I didn't think that was going to affect it. But maybe he doesn't get in because of it. And of course, he's got a bunch of his own drama going on now at UNC. But a lot of outrage about that. A lot of people saying there's a ton of traffic by the arena today, um, weather related potentially, and also maybe an accident they said before the game. So that would explain if it was a little light to start the game, but definitely full arena now. And Dunleavy saying it's loud right now for this power play. Yeah, definitely all the people getting there early to tailgate. See if the Sabres can remain perfect on the power play. 1 for 1 today after a minute 40 of nothingness. They got a good bounce off a tuck redirection. Allen in the corner. The Kings able to clear that. But a power play is a win nonetheless for the Sabres. If it kills 2 minutes, it kills 2 minutes, right? You got a 2-goal lead. Stone. Also be an area of need for Yarmo, right? Get a guy who's very, good on the power play, a veteran that can score. Moore takes it into the corner and is it back, but McLeod's there. And now he turns it over to Moore. You don't want to give up a shorthanded chance. And McLeod makes up for that, plays it back, but under a minute to go now in this power play opportunity. Looking a lot like the first one. If the Sabres can end it like the first one with a goal. McLeod with speed, back to Tuck. Tuck swings it around. I noticed this power play does not take the easy passes at all. Now that's a turnover. That'll be cleared. Again, Tuck there. Had a guy at the point. I think it was Byram. Wide open. Could have got it set up. Instead, just tries to pass it through 3 guys around the corner, which would have put the puck in the same situation anyway. Never just try to get it set up. Tuck. Out down low. Back to him, and it gets played to the point. McLeod. Tuck. They just cannot get out of this corner. Byram. Down low, and there's a nice chance for Tuck. Oh, looking for the hat trick, but put it right in the chest of Kemper. 5 seconds to go. Puck cleared. That'll do it for the power play, but a good chance to end it. Tuck, I thought, had a little more space to skate in. Maybe try to do a little toe drag or get Kemper to bite one way or the other, but just shot it the second he got it. There's another good chance. Win, or Krebs, that is, tried to send it in front for Malenstein. Ended up being a shot on net. Rebound went just wide. Now, Doughty from the point, huge block by Malenstein. He has been so good this season at block shots and crucial moments. That one of them. 10:30 to go in the third. Hello to Kempe. Now Perry. Perry in front of the net. Oh, boy. That one very, very close to being a tap-in, but good defense by the Sabres. Cleared the rest of the way. Sabres go off for a change. Kemper out of his net to play it up, but by the time he did, the Sabres were already changed and back on the ice. Stone leads the Sabres to center. He's going to chip it all the way in. Bouncing puck. Hellenis wins the race, but Kings win the war down there, and they play it back up. Now Osland makes a slap shot. What a move by Osland. In front to Doan. Doan backhand and one too many again. It's still loose in front of the net, though, but another odd man rush the Sabres. Too much passing. She got to shoot the puck there. Kesselring now deflected by Doan into the corner. Osland plays around to Doan. Doan, good positioning behind the net. Now he gets stripped. Good job by Oslin to realize that, though. He gathers the puck, plays it up top. Darlene to Doan. Down low to Oslin. Somebody lost their stick. I think it's a Kings player. It sure is. Down low pass, unable to be corralled, but Oslin gets it back behind the net. Tries to find Hellenius in the slot. Not a good decision. Batted down and held in, though, for the time being. Oslin in the corner. Into Benson right off the bench with a lot of speed, but in doing so, he lost the puck, and now it finally chips out of the zone, and it'll be almost cleared. Things are going to try to get their change in, so Sabres bring the puck in with speed. Kesselring gets a shot, and that one blockered away. Hard wrist shot. Kemper stayed with it the whole way, though. Benson's got to be careful, almost taking a penalty there. An aggressive Kings trying to spark some offense of their own here. Good stick by Metza to shut that one down, but the Kings keep it in the zone. Deflected. Oh, Lyon way out of his net. Out of the zone, and you can tell the Kings are starting to get a little desperate here with 8 minutes to go in the third. They're pinching, and every time they set it up in the offensive zone, they are going to be either getting a good look or giving up an odd man rush the other way. And here they come again with speed, sending all 5 guys inside the zone. Moore along the near boards. And there's the giveaway, and here comes the odd man rush. If Tuck could have handled it, but just too far away. And now it's blown dead on a hand pass. 7:41 to go in the game. We'll head to commercial. So far, so good. Sabres, giving up a couple chances, but also got a couple chances. We're able to get a good look on that power play at the end of it. Salvaged a wasted power play. If you guys are new here or haven't liked the stream yet, please do so. We're at 15 likes. We got 22 people in here. Let's make sure we get that number up a little bit. Thank you guys for that. Helps out us a ton with the algorithm. Yossi Rob at the game, packed barn and rock, and that's what we love to hear. A lot of people in the chat were asking if it was a sellout, then we heard it was. Good to hear, and it is very special promotional night as well. So I'm sure there's a lot of hype about that as well. Got ourselves another massive Sabres game at home Saturday against the Canadiens. So I think the building will be packed for that one as well. Maybe a little bit more away fans, just because more away fans than tonight, because Montreal's a little bit closer than LA. But yeah, here they're showcasing those Black History Celebration jerseys. I do like the colors. I mean, the logo itself, I don't know. The more I look at it, the more I don't like that jersey, but I also don't mind the color. I feel like they went a little too simple, but there is potential there. There's potential there, so I'll give it a B. I can see the vision for jersey. Neighbor's butter dish. I do not have one, but I don't know if anyone in the chat does. Lap shot from the point. Big save by Lyon. You could probably find one on eBay, but those things sell for an egregious amount sometimes online, some of the promotional giveaways. If you go to any local like basketball or baseball games when they have bobblehead nights, Definitely make up for your ticket, gas, getting there, and a whole lot more sometimes. That was a good screen. Fogel in front of the net, but Lyon was able to stay with it. 7-14. Sabres got to stay sharp here. They cannot allow this game to get to a one-goal game by the time the goalie gets pulled. Gage tried to saucer pass across the ice to Benson. Didn't get there, but Benson now finds, just missed Tage's stick. Now the Kings back the other way. Turned over and flipped up. And end up on Benson's stick. Benson one-on-one back the other way. He takes to the corner. His team set up, and his saucer pass turned over, but a weak pass to Kempe. Could have been a breakaway, but did not end up doing so. Kings keep it in the zone. Now another hand pass called on the Kings, so that'll blow things dead with 6:37 to go in the third. $140 on eBay. Wow. Yeah, you probably could have got that for like 50, 60 bucks, on eBay the night of. But those things go nuts. So yeah, if you're looking to make an investment, just buy when the tickets start to get released, in the beginning of the year, and every game's kind of 20 to 30 bucks. Just buy the Black Friday game or anything around Thanksgiving. Buy the one around Christmas, and either go and sell your promotional thing, or sell the ticket beforehand, because those get sometimes upwards of 120 bucks a ticket near Black Friday. Even if the team is bad, everyone's kind of home for the holidays. There's a shot on Lyon. He poke checks it away. Sabres fourth line's out there, and that'll lead Beckham Allenstein to center ice. Brings it across the blue line. He's got a little space. He'll take it behind the net. All the way around. Now to the point. Byram gets a shot on. Pad save by Kemper in to the corner. Kings will clear it. They're going to go off for a change, though. Wholesale change there, so it's going to be Byram with plenty of time behind his own net. He brings it out for Samuelson. Samuelson gives it away. Now the Kings can set up shop in the offensive zone. Sabres kids lines out there. Stone backhands it to the red line, and you can tell the Sabres have shifted to their very defensive state of mind here. One guy up, one guy at center, and two guys all the way back, and then one guy in the middle. So a 1-1-1-2 setup. 5:25 to go. And just got to hold on until they pull the goalie. You're up by 2 when the goalie's pulled. You're usually in pretty good shape. Byfield, whole lot of space. Toe drag, and that one hits his own teammate Moore in front of the net. Lyon was not really there, so that's a tough break for the Kings. Stone gets it to center. He plays it for Power. Power's got to be careful. Yeah, at this point in the game, you don't want to take it into the corner if you're a defenseman. So he's just going to give up the puck along the boards and let the Kings bring it in now. Good stick by McLeod to break up that zone entry, and Zucker will flip it all the way up into the air. It's going to land right on Kempe's stick. Plays it to Fialo. Drop pass to Kempe. Kempe download to Perry, but it's blocked by McLeod, and Quinn will get it to center. He takes a hit, but gets a good stick on it and plays it up to Zucker. Zucker will make the smart choice and just play it back to the point and then slide it down low. McLeod again hounding Kempe in the corner. Forces him to throw it up ice, and Dahlin will have a little bit of time. And Zucker at center ice, and he'll do a little around play, but didn't have any gas in the tank to actually complete that. So he let Doughty grab the puck, went to the bench. 3:56 to go in this game. You got to start looking for a goalie pull, maybe around the 3-minute mark. Sabres dump it all the way down the ice. This one will go for icing. 3:47, whistles blow. Maybe you pull him now. Let's see what the Kings decide to do. Greg, how's it going? Yeah, we're going to try to get more consistent with the live streams here. See what happens, but thank you for joining. Doesn't look like the Kings are pulling them just yet. Sabres up to 30 shots as well, so high shot totals for both teams. 340 now. Puck along the far boards. Ring gets it. Got plenty of time. He'll slide it up. Benson. Chuck it in. Hits Kemper's stick. Agent Tuck. Along the near corner here. Fighting for it. Tage tries to jam it alongside. Kemper stays strong on the post. Now the Kings will bring it back the other way. They're going to try to get changes. The Sabres do the same. And yeah, too many men on the ice for the Kings. Yep, too many men on the ice. What a disaster for the Kings. Sabres power play coming up 3:08 after the commercial break. All the Sabres got to do now is prevent a defensive zone faceoff where they'd be able to pull the goalie. And this game's pretty much iced. So a mental mistake by the Kings there. It looked like they were trying to set up, get the right guys on the ice for the goalie pulled. And I don't know, lost communication, but that is something that cannot happen. And that's, that's a play that happens to teams that are in the standings and the situation that the Kings are in, right? They making these mental mistakes that set them back, and you cannot afford to be doing that in a game down 3 minutes to go. And we see the Sabres do that all the time, right? How many times have we seen the Sabres take a late game penalty? Tough break for the Kings. But we know the Sabres power play. It could sometimes be worse than even strength for them. So this might actually be a blessing in disguise for the Kings. Sabres have to be smart here. You cannot allow odd man rushes. For butter dish, that is selling for 130, 140. They should come the dish cover. Yeah. Not the team selling them though. It's random people, right? So market value. Yeah, they should come with butter, you know? Everyone gets a stick of butter too. All right. Power play unit out there for the Sabres. Byfield on the faceoff against Tage. Kings win it 2-on-2 back the other way, and this is something you got to prevent. Kings aren't going to be dumping and chasing on this penalty kill, right? They're going all offense. Wouldn't even look to pull the goalie if they get possession. Tucker plays it back, and Samuelson's okay just sitting in his own end. Colleen bumps it, chases it all the way himself. Samuelson. And you can tell it's a defensive power play when Samuelson's out there for the power play, right? Not a usual grouping there. Thompson gets it to Dahlin. He's got some space now. Drop pass to the point to Power. So two defensemen on this power play. Samuelson off the ice for Power. Dahlin, the corner for Benson. And the Sabres are okay keeping this to the outside. Power takes a shot, and that one hits Tage Thompson in front of the net, but bounces back to Power. Not what you want to do. You don't want to hit your star player on a point shot, but Benson gets cross-checked to the ice. No call there. Good work by Benson to fight it to the corner, but Power was playing so far in that didn't have much space when it got back to him. Power steps down again. He turns the puck over almost. Benson, good job to keep that in. A point shot. Trying to see who that was. It was Dahlin. That one blocked and exited the zone. 18 seconds to go on the power play. At 23 to go in the game, Power's going to take it all the way in. And here we go again. Drop pass when he's inside the zone, outside the zone. So it's a giveaway now. Oh, good chance on Lyon, but able to stop that one. Power play is over. Empty net. Tuck scores. Alex Tuck completes the hat trick. Another Sabres hat trick, another hat trick. The league has been full of them in January, the most ever in a month. Alex Tuck, right place, right time. Kings tried to get the extra man on once the penalty expired, and Alex Tuck, his 22nd goal this season, 4th career hat trick. How about that? The guy that a lot of Sabres fans are going to be keeping an eye on in these next couple weeks. We don't know if he's staying. Is he going? Is he re-signing? Is he staying and then leaving? Whole lot of potential outcomes for the Alex Tuck situation, but this will certainly be in his favor. And made a nice move around a couple Kings players there and buried it into the empty net. Right in Corey Perry's face, too, so that's nice to see after Perry and Lyon went at it early on in the game. 4-1, 32nd shot of the night for the Sabres, 38 for the Kings. Lyon, another masterful game, only allowing 1 goal. We got 59.9 seconds to go. A little bit of a delayed faceoff while they pick up all the hats. There's still some flying onto the ice. There's always those couple people that hold on to them until they're all done, right? Yep, some are still funneling in. And a lot of the time that comes from, people from the upper deck throwing them down, and it doesn't make it all the way. So the lower bowl has to help them out. That's why we get some of those later hats. But back-to-back hat tricks for this team. You love to see it. A team that's playing for each other. Of course, all that Dahlin's been through, that was a big one for him. And you think of another guy that's, going through it right now. It's Alex Tuck, right? His future is very unknown. So that's a good one for him to settle him down a little bit, right? 40 seconds to go. Now Sabres clear the zone. I don't think the Kings are going to try to pull him again, down 3. 28 seconds. Krebs down low to Kesselring. Outlet pass. Kozak. He gets crunched along the boards, and this game might get a little physical at the end here. Kozak still going after his guy. Offsides, and here we go. A lot. Krebs. Anderson gets in on it. The Kings, Hellenist, Doughty, pushing and shoving. Kozak and Krebs. Trying to see if that's Malenstein in there as well. I'd have to guess so. Now Samuelson and Kesselring finally get into it. Malot's going after Kesselring. Kesselring not trying to fight, of course. Been injured all season long. Malot's yelling at him. Oh, here we go. Kesselring saying, now I'll go. But a ref all over Malott. Not going to let that happen. Kesselring, Krebs, both go to the locker room. The Sabres team, wow, this is, shout out to Krebs, too, on this play. Kozak taking some cheap shots, and Krebs went right at Malott, a guy who's much bigger than him. One of those times, too, where if you got to take a stupid penalty, go ahead, take it. The game's over, right? So if you want to send a cheap shot back, might as well. But you don't want to get anyone hurt. St. Louis still holding on to a lead. That's good to see. 15.4 seconds left on the clock. Byfield on the face-off. Kings, they cut away, so I don't know who will be going up against. Looks like it'll be Kozak. A rare Tyson Kozak face-off. Kings cleared the zone. 10 seconds left. Crowd on their feet. Alex Lyon's 10th straight win. And the Sabres, Maine, and third in the Atlantic. Franchise record 10-game win streak for Alex Lyon. Team is special. And they keep it together. Yarmo's got a tough decision now. I mean, it seemed Yarmo could do no wrong, right? Just, when he got control of the team, just make a ton of moves. And, if it doesn't work out, at least you tried, unlike the last guy. Now, you're going to be hard pressed to find a guy you'd be okay moving or someone else. The best possible way this team has made Yarmo's job very tricky over the next couple weeks. It'll be fun to see where this team goes and if they're able to make the playoffs. Keep in mind, 12-hour live stream if the Sabres make the playoffs live from the arena before the first home game of the playoffs. So if they are, home on game 3 or game 1, if that happens, I'll be there at, say it's a 7 p.m. game. We'll be there at 7 a.m. Yeah, it's going to be a long day, so hopefully some of you guys can join me there and hang out. But that's going to do it for this live stream. I got to keep plugging that because in the beginning of the season, it seemed like that wasn't possible. But if this actually happens, I'm going to need some guests and I'm going to have to come up with the logistics. But thank you guys for joining this stream. Coming for the cup is crazy. Lions are number 1. I agree. Thank you for joining. The stream will end momentarily. I'll stare into the camera. Your Sabres still third in the Atlantic. Thank you guys.